Rachel here. Welcome to my Slow TV Stitchery. Good morning, everybody. You will see that there has been a change of project today, and in fact this is two projects. I will write about them on the blog in due course. This is going to be a cover for a pair of lorgnettes, which are going to be my museum glasses when we are in happier days. And this is a first experiment for Placidus. I had the concept, if you like, for Placidus has changed quite considerably from my first idea, and one of the ideas I'm now playing with is to have a canvas work frame for the scene of Placidus's encounter with the stag. And at the moment it's proving quite tricky, shall we say, but then that's why you do experiments. You might recall, no reason why you should, I suspect, that my starting idea for my version of Placidus, honestly, you can never pick things up when you want. Oh, that's because it's attached. There we are. My starting point for Placidus was going to be was going to be a combination of Millefiori and the Pisanello painting. And then I thought it needs something to stop the scene falling off into the surrounding wall, especially because the wall is dark green. So it wants a frame of some sort, and maybe to put the symbols of the evangelists in place. Oh, I've just realised I'm using the wrong colour. I wonder whether anyone will notice. They will, won't they? Can rely on it. Okay, I will do that later. My threads for the water here are blended stranded cottons, and so I need to use the right blends, and I need to reconstruct the blend I had, because there should be two blue ones and then the green. Okay, so we'll carry on the outside here. The challenge, of course, with blending threads is having a tidy end. However, I think we've achieved something here. So my idea, concept if you like, here is that the rather free-form Bargello will create a sense of movement so that my frame, which has underwater at the bottom and the transition zone at the side, so we can have bulrushes and snails and a kingfisher and dragonflies, and then swifts and larks and things at the top. If I have this sort of slightly free form Bargello, it will create the sense of a moving stream, moving air, without being too excitable and drawing too much attention to itself. I could be wrong about that, because this is, well, maybe it's going to work. I think it looks quite pleasing. I will, of course, find the design will move underneath my feet. They always do, don't they? And I'm going to do the fish last, because I want to have a clear shot at working out how the Bargello goes across and appears on the other side successfully. I could guess, but the reason for all these extra tacking stitches in different colours is to try to help me work it out. This is not coming untwisted. I suspect the rest of this year is going to be largely composed of small projects and experiments. Partly because I have two major projects in mind and not a clear design idea for either of them, which is, to put it mildly, inconvenient. And partly just because I think I'm pretty well finished with Amana, and I'm a little tired of doing very big projects. I would like something manageable for a change. That won't last. I have always tended towards the epic, and I think it's fair to say that that tendency is unlikely to be permanently knocked for six. But I think it will be quite a while before there's any sign of the full scale project that I have in mind. In the meantime, I think this is turning out to be quite a pleasing effect. Pull that underneath. If I can find some ribbon, that might also make rather good water. It won't, of course, have the subtle variation in colour that you get from blending stranded cotton. But it might produce a rather pleasing effect. I'm finding it quite surprising here I prepared the blended threads for these rows before turning the camera on, and there is more of this green colour in this second row than in the first, and that barely shows. So I find myself wondering at what point it will start getting darker. Part of the experiment is to see how much variation I need, whether I should whether I should, for example, blend from one to the other as subtly as possible, or have a few stripes which are different. And that is going to be hard to determine if, when I think I've made a substantial change, it doesn't show. So each needleful here is 9 strands, which allows quite a lot of subtlety. And I'm actually quite surprised by quite how subtle the changes have been. Each of the last 3 or 4 rows has had one extra of the greyish green in, and it's making only the slightest of differences. Still, I guess this is good. I think I'm pleased by the subtlety. Placidus, I think, is going to have to be not naturalistic, but something not entirely unakin to naturalistic. Quite how I'll know when I've got the balance right, I can't begin to fathom. I can only assume that I'll know it when I'm there. That's all for this session. I hope you enjoyed following along. Happy stitching!